name is Miranda Hagerman, and I'm from the Bluefield State College registered BSN program, and I'm here to talk to you today about exercising to maintain strength, flexibility, and balance. We've already gotten blood pressures and all that good stuff out of the way. So first of all, we're going to talk about the 4 types of exercise. There are 4 main categories. Does anybody know what they are? Okay. Well, the first one is aerobic exercise. Does anyone know what aerobic exercise is? Well, aerobic exercise is cardiovascular exercise. It works the heart mostly, and it prevents things like heart disease and stuff like that. And it can include all kinds of different types of exercises as well. The second main type of exercise we're going to talk about today is balance. The third type of exercise we are going to be discussing today is flexibility. And does anyone know what the 4th one might be? That's right, muscle strengthening exercises. Exercising to get strong. All right. Now that we've talked about the 4 types of exercises, we're going to get into why we exercise. What are the benefits of exercising? Now, I went into it a little bit just a second ago. Aerobic exercise is the cardiovascular exercising, also known as cardio. And doing cardio regularly can help reduce the risk of diseases, such as hypertension, which is high blood pressure, cardiovascular diseases such as CAD, coronary artery disease, that's when your blood vessels get small on the inside, diabetes, which means that your blood sugars are out of whack, they can be high, and you might need insulin for that kind of thing, stroke, heart attack, cancer, and depression. All of these can be prevented, if not reduce the risk of those just from exercising. Another thing that we reduce when we exercise, you reduce risk of falling. Now that's a big thing, especially in older adults, because when you get older, your bones and the insides get a little bit weaker. So if you fall, you're at higher chance of things like breaking bones and stuff like that. And it takes a lot longer for bones to heal. And that moves us to the next one. You're going to increase bone density when you're exercising, especially when you're doing muscle strengthening exercises like lifting weights. You're going to increase bone density, and what that means is the insides of your bones get harder and it makes them less likely to break. Another benefit of exercise would be to improve independence, and I know that that's something that everybody wants to do. Nobody really wants to be dependent on anyone else. And functional independence means that you can do things for yourself, simple everyday daily activities, eating, getting dressed in the morning, going out, driving, things like that. Those can all be improved just by simply exercising regularly. Another big thing, big benefit of exercise, most people exercise simply because of this, but weight loss. Weight loss is a really big benefit of exercise. If you're wanting to lose weight, weight loss helps reduce the risk of those diseases that we talked about a little bit ago as well. It also decreases the chance of you getting any joint pain, any bone pain, stuff like that. It reduces the risk of knee replacements and hip replacements, back pain, all that good stuff. And finally, we're going to talk about improving sleep. So exercising, of course, when you're exercising regularly, you're burning off energy. And when you lay in bed at night after you've exercised, you're going to sleep more. because you're so tired from exercising, and you're also going to sleep better and deeper. So yeah, those are some of the benefits of exercising. There are plenty more, but that's just some examples. Next, we're going to go into examples of each type of exercise. And now these examples, you guys, I'm sure, have heard about them plenty, and some things that I'm going to be talking about you might not even consider exercise. So we're going to get into those. The first type of exercise, what was it that we talked about? Right here, yep, aerobic. So one type of example of exercise in aerobic is just walking, brisk walking. You don't have to even run. As long as you're brisk walking and getting those muscles flowing, running's always good. But if you're doing some moderate brisk walking, then that will help. Another type of aerobic exercise is biking. Biking can be done on roadways, on trails, out in the wilderness, in the woods. You can also do stationary biking. They make the stationary bikes where you don't even have to leave the comfort of your home. So any types of those. Another great type of aerobic exercise we're going to talk about is swimming. Now, swimming is really amazing, especially for older adults, because it's out of all of the different exercises we're going to be talking about, it is the least harmful on joints. When you're swimming, you've got the buoyancy of the water, and you're doing repetitive motions, and you're not really straining the joints as much. The last example of aerobic exercise that I'm going to talk about is dancing. Now, we all love to dance, or at least most of us do, I would hope. You can just listen to some music, no matter where you are, just break out into some dancing, and you'll be aerobic exercising. All right, now that we've talked about the first type of exercise, the aerobic exercises, we'll move on to balance. Now, there are a few types of exercises that can improve balance, and they're really easy to do. You wouldn't even think that you were exercising. Walking heel to toe. Now, walking heel to toe, it helps improve the balance naturally, just walking across the room and back. It is mostly used by police officers when they're trying to figure out if people are intoxicated. And the reason that is because when you're intoxicated, your balance is put off by the alcohol. So just doing these simply once, twice a day can help improve your balance. Standing up on one foot can help improve balance. That's something simple that you can do at any point in time. You just raise one of your feet up and see how long you can stand, and just do that repetitively between each feet. Another really cool thing is Tai Chi. Now, this is a Chinese martial arts, and it's been used for years and years. If you do this, you can find classes on YouTube. You can find classes. It's really easy. There are classes in most towns for like martial arts and Tai Chi and stuff like that. And what this does is, by the poses and movements of the martial art form, it helps improve the balance. Leg extensions. Just while you're laying in bed or laying on the ground, you lift your legs up and not let them wiggle around, and that can help your balance as well. All right, now that we are through balance, we're going to talk about flexibility. Flexibility, that's something that's super duper easy. You can do it basically whenever, when you get out of bed, when you're in bed. It doesn't take a long period of time. You can do a little bit at a time. So improving your flexibility, things like yoga. Yoga is a really great flexibility builder. You just get a little mat or a towel, and you do some yoga exercises, and that helps you stretch out and promotes flexibility. And range of motion exercises, stretching, bringing your arms over behind your back, things like that, getting down on the ground and touching your toes. All of those range of motion exercises are going to increase flexibility, especially if you do them, you make it a part of your daily routine. Last but not least, we have muscle strengthening exercises. Now, what would you think that muscle strengthening exercises are? Right? Most people think that lifting weights, that is the most common type of muscle strengthening exercise. Now you can do weightlifting, especially for older adults, little increments of weight, start out really low weight and do multiple repetitions and make that a part of your daily routine. Now when you're doing muscle strengthening exercises, it's recommended by the CDC that you do at least 2 days out of 7, 2 days out of the week that you're doing some type of muscle strengthening exercise. Another type of easy muscle strengthening exercise would be push-ups. Just getting down on the ground and on your stomach and pushing yourself up off the ground with your arms as much as you can. That helps promote strengthen your arms as well as in your core. You could also do this modified, going up against the wall, and I'll show you here in a little bit what I mean by that. Going up against the wall and making yourself flat against the wall and pushing off the wall. And that could be a modified push-up if you don't feel like you're strong enough to push up off the ground. The third type of muscle strengthening exercise I'm going to talk about is something you might do on a daily basis, and it's something you might not think could be considered an exercise. Is just day-to-day housework, especially when you're moving things around, when you're cleaning, picking up, organizing, stuff like that. When you're vacuuming, just the resistance from the vacuum cleaner and doing the multiple reps with your arms, as well as if you're getting down on the floor and scrubbing, that's also considered muscle strengthening exercise. And last but not least, another muscle strengthening exercise is going to be gardening. Heavy gardening, if you like to get outside, which I know a lot of people do. Gardening, using the tools, gardening tools, digging up the dirt, planting, the repetitions from that, those could also be considered muscle strengthening exercises. Okay? So to recap, we have the 4 main types of exercises are aerobic exercises, and we're going to want to do those based on CDC guidelines. We're going to want to do at least 2 hours and 30 minutes of aerobic cardio exercise every week, and that roughly translates into about 20 minutes a day. Number 2 is balance. Remember those heel to toe exercises. Some Tai Chi if you want to get really interesting. Flexibility with some yoga and range of motion stretching. And muscle strengthening with even everyday things like housework or gardening, stuff like that. Okay? Now we're finished with the presentation part of this of today, and we're going to get in some of the fun stuff. So I know that you guys love bingo, so I have actually modified the regular bingo into exercise bingo based on what we talked about today. So I hope you were paying attention, because to play this game, we're going to be answering some questions about the presentation, okay? So I'm going to hand these bingo cards out, and I got some paint dab markers for us to mark our bingos, and we also have some prizes. I brought some candy for us to eat and snack on, and then I also brought some other kinds of prizes. I've got some lotions, some tissues, deodorant, socks, stuff like that. And after we finish the game, we are going to hand out some prizes. I really appreciate you listening to me, and I hope you learned something from today. Remember, when you are exercising, or if you have any types of issues with your heart or anything like that, make sure to talk to your doctor before you start a training routine or exercise to get what their recommendations are based on what your needs are specifically. Drink lots of water, eat a lot of protein. Exercising depends on all kinds of different things, your hydration, your food intake, and all that good stuff. So we just want to be well-rounded, and when you're exercising, it can definitely improve your life. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this bingo game and snacking and prizes. Thank you so much for listening.